Alright, let's get out of the way. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment if you like. Mononogatari episode 1 started off with some crazy shite. So imagine a 12-year-old boy coming home from school and figuring out that a big-ass monster is killing his brother and sister, and he's just standing there, still. He's too afraid to freaking move, and so his brother and sister are trying to throw weapons at the monster so they don't attack him, but he still gets scratched on the cheek. Since he wouldn't move, his sister throws magical weapons and pushes him off the long stairway. And somehow, right before he falls, he sees the monster eating them alive. That would mentally scar someone, and I can tell why some people hold grudges. So now that he's about 16 years old, he doesn't hold back on these animals. He just keeps fucking killing them. And it seems he has a partner, which is a 6-year-old man who likes to hear people's stories before they die. And even the cops are thinking, why don't you just kill him? I know you could do it. Well, it turns out to be he's a much nicer guy than you think. He talks to the spirit, and if he has anything that he wants to do before he dies, then he'll try to accomplish that thing, and then he'll send him to the next world. He has a really cool way of sealing these monsters because he uses a talisman to seal them in, and I guess he gets to use it later. So the 16-year-old boy is actually this guy's grandson, and he's trying to teach him to not be so aggressive, but that went out the window because this guy's smashing them like they're rats. But I guess he doesn't really kill them, he just seals them in a talisman. And his grandpa sees this happening with the cops, and he thinks, I think we need to change this. And so he calls someone up and says, I want this kid to live with you because he's very aggressive and he needs to learn how to be more calm. And she looks like a doctor on the side, but she doesn't say much but smile. And I'm thinking, that's very creepy. I'm pretty sure she's going to be very mean. And so they go home, and his uncle tries to explain to him that these Tsukumogamis, which are the ghosts that are on this world, aren't always evil. And yes, there are some really aggressive ones, but not all of them are. And you have to be wary of these. And our job is to make them feel comfortable and hear them out so they can move on. But it seems every time I see you, you're attacking them, you're hitting them with your fists, you're kicking them. And the worst fucking part is that you seal them without their will. Yeah, you're right, but I've seen these monsters kill people that I loved. And any chance they get, they'll turn their back on you. And I can't let them do that. And then his grandpa says, well, I understand what you're saying. I still think you should get over your anger for these things, so I'm taking you to a house that can help you out. And I agree with him, this is fucking annoying, but it has to happen. So he's gonna go to a house full of Tsukugami, which are those ghosts. And his grandpa hopes that because he's gonna be in that house for such a long time, that he'll get some compassion and finally feel like the ghosts aren't that evil. And he tries to deny this, but he says, if you don't go to this house, then you're not gonna be able to kill these things anymore, and I'm gonna revoke your license. Okay, never mind. So that same night he's packing, and he's still thinking, man, I think I'm gonna destroy these things, because even if they have an ounce of wanting to damage something, we should still get rid of them. And surprisingly enough, he takes the train station and he gets to the place. And he remembers that his grandpa told him before he left that since you're going to live in a house with these Tsukumagachi, you should probably try to conversate with them and try to be friends with them. Really understand what they're trying to be. Don't just sit there silently or do something by yourself. Try to be friends with them. And he says, fine. Okay, for you, Grandpa. I'll try. And he arrives to the house, and most of the Tsumagachi are not there, and they're trying to make their way there, while this doctor-looking lady tells him, this house is not here. She's a student, and she's also human, and most of us are Tsumagachi. And in his head, he's thinking, fuck them. I don't trust shit. And he's not just thinking this. When the girls are being really nice to him, he says, I don't trust you. You're creatures disguising yourself as humans, and I don't like that, you phonies. And one of the people there was like, I can't believe this guy. He's got a big-ass mouth for being really weak. So this is the rest of the episode, really. So the guy who told him, you look really weak, has these swords that come out of his hands. And it's not that his hands turn into swords. It just forms out of nowhere swords. And the other guy has some energy rings that push people back, and so you can fist fight them. But then they get a call, and it's from the lady who owns the house, and they say, alright, we gotta stop this fight, or she's gonna come back and she's not gonna like it. So the plan was for 3 of them to go and fight one of them, and the other 3 to fight the other guy, but all 6 decided on fighting the main character instead. So now he's on the ground, he's like, I knew it, these people are evil. And the girl gets home, and she says, how is he on the ground? What'd you guys do? But she doesn't really care, because she saw this coming from a mile away, and of course the main character is very nice. He says, hey, how are you? My name's Blank, and she introduced herself too. And of course he'd be like that because she's human, right? So the question of the day is, if you were in his shoes, how would you know to trust them or not? Because he's seen some of them do evil stuff, and there's some good ones out there, so how would you know which ones are which? Unless they come out right there and then saying, I'm evil. Alright, that's the end of the video. Peace.